Nobody likes waiting. Waiting sucks. Waiting is aggravating.
Facts.
Waiting is absolutely annoying.
Facts.
But what do you do when you serve a God who is so patient that he has you in the waiting season? Ooh. Go ahead. You look like you got something to say. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, majority of being a Christian is about waiting. If we're being honest, waiting for marriage, waiting on God, waiting on to hear from God, waiting to see Jesus. You know.
Yo, you right now.
Right. Waiting. You know, that's exactly. That's the whole Christian walk. Is, I guess that's why it's a fruit of the Spirit is patience.
Okay. No, that is so real though. So how many of us, since the whole Christian journey is just waiting? I feel that. Sorry. I felt a holy rebuke. I felt a holy rebuke in a, well, how do you think I feel?
No, that's fast.
I'm always waiting on you.
Waiting.
How long have y'all kept me waiting?
Yeah.
I waited for you to surrender to me. I waited for you to say yes. I waited for you to love me. I waited for you to obey me. I felt a holy rebuke. Oh my Lord.
No, that's good, because my mind goes to, I think it's Isaiah, Jeremiah, one of those two, where God talks about how he literally had been standing there with his hands wide open, waiting on Israel to come to him. Like, so God, when you read the Bible, you see God waiting throughout the whole Bible.
Yeah.
But we ain't God.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem. But we need him to help us be patient.
We need him.
Yeah.
Yeah, to help him to be patient. And then we have the nerve to get frustrated, and it's rightfully so. Okay. Frustrated, aggravated, all of the things in the waiting process. I felt rebuked. Wait a minute. Like,
you got whooped.
I got whooped right there. Why y'all laughing?
I'm screaming.
I got whooped right there. But no, that is so very real. There's so much tension in the wait. And when God gives the promise, and we get over there.
Yeah.
Go ahead. To the promise being fulfilled.
It's so much room for doubt.
So much.
Waiting, I feel like, it's just a recipe for, it can be a recipe to just doubt God promises. When you got too much time on your hand in between what God showed you and the manifestation of it, it's crazy. Yeah,
so the question then becomes, we have faith for the actual promise, but do we have enough faith to endure the wait? Ooh, we be, hey, I got big crazy faith. I'll shut up. Like, you know.
Yeah.
You know how we do for the big thing. But we don't have that same big, bold, crazy faith to endure the process in between the waiting time.
Right.
And we get it, right? Sometimes it feels like God taking too long. Okay.
Right.
Where you at? Ain't that a song? Where you at?
I think
Where
so.
you
Where
at?
Oh, that's Destiny's Child. Where you at? Where you at? Yeah. I forgot which song, but
Bro.
yeah. And it reminds me too of the Israelites catching the attitude when they was at the bottom of the mountain when Moses was on the that was a long time, but he was on the top of the mountain, getting instruction. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He was on top of the mountain getting instructions from God, and they was down there. They had an attitude like, "Look, we don't know what happened to Moses. Let us make this golden calf." And so basically what I'm getting at, it was all cool when God was like, he was showing them the promise, like, hey, I got this land for y'all, milk and honey. Ooh, that sounds good. We like milk, we like honey. We down. But when they got in the process of the waiting season, they switched, they turned,
Yeah, because they didn't understand. I think part of the issue is we don't see the process as valuable.
Yeah.
And they didn't see the waiting on Moses.
I'm gonna hold it.
Go ahead. as valuable.
Yeah, that's good. And I just thought about too, sometimes we need to be washed of our last season we came out of, because they had just came out of Egypt.
Come on, Gangsta Prophet. That sounds like some Gangsta Prophet there.
Right,
go ahead.
They had just came out of Egypt, so they still got the Egypt residue on them, right? You know what I'm saying? They still thinking about, we sat around pots of meat and bread and stuff, and I just feel like, their mindset was just off. So sometimes God has to get that off of us in the waiting season too, because it just inclines us to go backwards and not actually endure the wait.
Exactly. That goes to the point of the wait in the process is actually valuable. But we don't think it is. And so we disregard it and we see it as pointless. Well, what I need to be rinse of my last season for?
Right.
I mean, ain't I out of it? Ain't I out of it? You know what I'm saying? Aren't I out of it? God's just punishing me. Why he just punishing me? The process is punishment. And because we have that mindset towards it, we see it as, once again, invaluable.
Right.
And then we get to the promise. Well, most time we don't even get to the promise. But if we were to get to the promise, we will fumble the promise.
For sure.
Because we didn't allow God to do what he needed to do in the process. Go ahead.
That's so good. Because they still, you just made me think about something else. They still had a love for small, lower case G gods. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine they get over there, they still got over there, and, after the food, but it probably would have been worse. He taking them to the land that he promised, and he's not able to get that a love and affection that they had for their Egyptian gods
so good
out of them. So it just made something you said just made me think about that.
Yeah, no, that's real. It passed down through we can stay on focus. It passed down through the generation, right? Because the generation that the older folks, they didn't even make it, because God was like, I'm gonna give you exactly what you said. You said that I brought you out of here just for you to die in the wilderness. All right, zap. Yeah, I gotta go back and watch some other episodes to figure out where the heck that zap came from. But yes, everything so God took them on that long journey.
Yeah. Because
he was trying to mature them. He was trying to detox them. He was trying to get the world, aka Egypt, out of them. There was a method to his madness.
Yeah. And in one of those verses, he talks about how he took them the longer route, because if he would have taken the shorter route, they would have lost heart and turned back around.
Exactly. Yeah. So he was trying to strengthen and mature them. We can just talk about the Israelites. That's fine. The Israelites will preach.
Listen, every time.
He was trying to strengthen and mature them. And how did I end up here? Many of us are too immature for the promise. And we are mad at God for withholding it. But that's actually God's grace. Because he know you're going to fumble that man. Because you're too insecure.
Because you got an attitude problem.
Because you be neck rolling and be calling him a BAN.
Right. Because that's a whole nother topic. I ain't even going to go there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't have the money yet. Because you don't even know how to manage what you got.
Right.
You retail therapy. All your money going to be gone as soon as anything. And so it is in the wait, in the process, where God is maturing us so that we can make it to the promise. We don't like that.
Sure don't.
We don't like, and it's understandable.
Yeah.
Right? Because the process, sometimes it gets monotonous. Can we talk about it? Can we just talk about it? Can we just talk about it? Sometimes it gets monotonous. Sometimes it gets boring. Can we just be honest? I'm just being... Look at me trying to pull a song.
I already know what song you was talking about.
I try to pull them two different songs.
I was like, wait, that's the remix? Oh, weak.
That's the remix. So how can we? I'm gonna move. How can we build our faith for the wait? Well, I already know the first thing I'm always gonna say.
Most important thing
is we need to start our days every day. That's why I said S with the S on the end of day. With prayer and Bible reading, devotion. We need to spend time with the Lord.
Absolutely. And something that I used to do, I used to read a lot of Bible but not meditate on it. So I feel like when you shift from just reading and consuming a lot of Bible, but like from just reading and consuming to meditating and consuming,
life changing.
Everything shifts.
Yeah, because now I'm taking that scripture that I've read with me all on throughout the day. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking on it. I am writing it on the tablets. LOL. That's somewhere in the Bible. Writing it on the tablets of my heart. And it's not just I'm racing to read because I gotta spend time with God, and I feel like spending time with God is an inconvenience. And y'all know how we do. How many of us was in school and we had to read some? And we I read it.
No, facts. Facts.
And oftentimes we do that with God. We treat him as if he's an inconvenience. Mm-hmm. That's, anyway, whole nother conversation. So that's one way, right? Another way, we need to start celebrating small acts of obedience. Acknowledging the fact that there are some small things that I did that I trusted God today. I might not have trusted him the past 2 days, but I trusted him today. Shifting your focus to the daily things that we are doing.
It just makes it so much more bearable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of, like we was talking about in a previous episode, being so forward focused where we're just constantly just looking forward, but shifting it from that to what we were just talking about, I just feel like it makes the process more bearable.
It really does. It's not as overwhelming, and it's not as frustrating when you're so focused on me getting here and now I'm not there. I'm realizing that I'm not there. Now I'm just so frustrated, so aggravated, just so all the things discontented because I'm not there. So that's one way. Next thing you can do, trade your trust. Don't trade your trust. Trade your frustration for trust. Trusting in God, making the daily decision that I am going to trust you just today. We'll worry about tomorrow the next day.
Yeah, and that's good because that's actually, I just thought about something. That's biblical too, as far as like, because I feel like it could sound bad, like, oh well, God, I'm just trusting you today and we're not going to worry about tomorrow. But Jesus, we just talked about how Jesus said himself, right? Don't worry about the worries for tomorrow. So I think it's okay to trust God in the moment, every day, and then get up tomorrow and trust him again. You get up the next day and trust him again. So anyway, it sounds simple, but it just clicked to me like, oh well, Jesus said let tomorrow worry about his own worries.
No, that's real. Sometimes that's all we got is trust for today.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just kind of goes back to the point of daily we need to wake up. God, can you help me trust you again today?
That's good. Yeah.
Lastly, how we can build our faith for the wait is we need to refocus. We need to shift our focus from the outcome, from the promise, to, what, God, what are you trying to get out of me? What are you trying to teach me in this moment?
That can also help us get out of that victim mindset we was talking about in a previous episode, because we should constantly be looking for God. Like you said, what are you doing in this? How are you going to get the glory? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I am utterly confused. Okay. But I know that you're in this somewhere. So where are you? Like, help me to see what you're doing in this moment.
Exactly. Hunting out lessons is how I like to call it. Like, we just got to hunt the lessons because they are in there somewhere. So yes, that's all we're saying is that we so easily have the faith for the big thing, but having big, crazy, bold faith is also meaning that we have that to endure the wait. We increase our faith for the wait, for the process, because boy,
because at some point you're gonna have to wait. Might as well start practicing.
Okay, you might as well play the elevator music. You know what I'm saying? Right now, because it is coming, and God is watching you while you wait. So what are you telling him? What are you showing him? Are you showing him? Yep. See, that's exactly why. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you showing him as he is watching you in the wait? That's it. That's all.
That's it.
So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and put down in the comments one way you are going to be bold in the small things. We would love to hear from you. And that's it. You got anything?
That's it.
Well, go be great. We out.
KP out.